A beautiful Sunday evening here in Vancouver, and welcoming all of you to the Ask Arya show. I'm with one of my favorite Vancouver celebrities, and yes, he is a celebrity because it's not only the Vancouver circle, but I think everybody in Toronto, Montreal, everywhere in Canada has heard of Ricky Shetty, who lives in Vancouver. And what I loved about him when I met him the first time was that he proposed to his wife almost in front of 1,000 people. How did that go? We have to start with that story.
Sounds good. Hi everyone, and thanks Avi for having me on your show today. It's quite an honor.
Of course, of course. How did that happen?
Sure. Yeah, let's jump right into it. I did a flash mob proposal with my wife. So I'll quickly share you the backstory. So we'd been dating for about a year, and she had gone to the Philippines on a family vacation, and I pretty much knew I wanted to propose, and we'd talked about marriage, and we both felt ready to take the next step. So when she came back from the Philippines, I made this decision to propose, and I didn't want to just do a small proposal. I wanted to go big and grand, and express my love in the fullest, right? So I organized a flash mob through social media. So I basically, it's kind of a funny story, but while she was in the Philippines and boarding the plane, I blocked her so she wouldn't see what I was doing. And basically I mobilized my social media network, and I said, hey, is anyone free at the airport on January 1st, 2011? Can you come and help me out? I'm going to do this big flash mob. And I got so many people coming and helping me out. There was about 50 or 80 of my close friends and family members. And we did this flash mob to Bruno Mars, Just the Way You Are. And at the end of that song, I got down on one knee, and we had all these signs saying, will you marry me, in multiple languages. And I asked her to be my wife, and she said yes.
Of course.
And it made the front page of the province.
It made the front page of the province, wow.
Yeah, which is a local Vancouver newspaper. Made The Sun, CTV Global. So I became a overnight viral sensation.
So that's what happens when you follow your heart, right? And it's all based on love. I remember what I did for my... How long have you been married for?
So actually we're coming up to our 5th anniversary.
5th? Oh, yeah, okay. That's still recent, you know.
So coming up on July 1st, 2016 will be 5 years of wedded bliss.
Awesome, awesome. So mine was way earlier than that, and I remember we were in India, and I wanted to propose to Divya. So what I did was that I asked a friend of mine to actually go across to NASA, and NASA actually had stars. You know, you could name a star after someone. So I named a star after Divya, and you know, obviously she was ecstatic, and everybody was like, wow, this is the best proposal ever, till I saw what you had done. And I've not shared this with her, but when she sees the show, I think she'll realize that somebody has upped this. And,
you know, but every proposal is so special and unique.
Right.
Even if it's like a romantic dinner, or even if it's like just you and your spouse on your fiance on the beach. I think every proposal is so unique and special.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be grand. It happens to be our personalities who are a little bit more outgoing.
Right.
But you know, I never want to discount any proposal.
But you know what? No, but I think yours was brilliant. And I think, you know what? Let's give it out to the viewers. People who are watching this, let us know what you think about this proposal. And if you propose to somebody in a crazy, wacky way, give us your comments on this section right now. Okay, now getting into the show, you know what? I know Vancouver. You know, you're a mini celebrity in Vancouver. Almost everybody knows you. You know, I remember meeting you through your conferences, and you do about 3 conferences now every year.
Yeah. For work, I put on conferences, I put on workshops, I put on events. I do some internet marketing as well.
Right.
So I do a little bit of a hybrid of offline and online marketing.
Right. But which is your most popular conference in Vancouver?
Last year I put on 3 major conferences.
3 of them?
Yeah, one was the Social Media Mastery one, which you attended.
Social Media Mastery, I remember that.
Yeah, and then I did a Blog Mastery Conference.
Right.
And then I did an Internet Marketing Mastery Conference.
Right.
So there's 3 conferences within the span of 5 months.
Right.
And one was a 1-day, second one was a 2-day, and third one was a 3-day.
That must be a lot of work.
And the 3-day one was definitely a lot of work in terms of logistics and coordinating all the speakers.
Right.
And I prefer, in hindsight, the 1-day or the 2-day. The 3-day was just a little bit much from an organizational standpoint, but also from an attendee standpoint, because they're long days, and it's hard for people to take off a day off work, and also to commit, if they have family commitments and all, to commit like a 9 to 5, 9 to 5, 9 to 5, 3 days in a row. So yeah, in hindsight, I'm probably not going to do another 3-day one, but who knows? I never want to say never, but I'm probably going to stick to the 1 and 2 days.
Right. So you how many of them are you going to do in 2016?
You know what? I'm kind of in transition from conferences, so I'm still making that decision of whether I want to keep doing them.
Sure.
But lately I've been doing more and more internet marketing because the ideal situation for me is having the time freedom,
of course,
the money freedom, and the location freedom.
Right.
With conferences, I don't have
you mean
any of those really.
Okay. So you can't really go to Miami and do a conference.
Oh, I mean, I could. Of course, I could.
Right.
But still, it's still location dependent.
Right.
And what I'm really focusing now is location independent.
Oh, so online.
Yeah,
okay.
like what you're
sure,
you're flying around and just
right.
working from working from a laptop
yes.
anywhere.
Right.
And that's where I'm aiming to get most of my income.
Right.
Right now, it's been the conferences primarily. And the other thing I can do is actually online conferences.
Right.
So I'm looking into that model. So basically just running it online.
Right.
Speakers could be, in their homes or in their home offices.
Right.
And people could be watching from anywhere in the world.
Right.
So I'm looking into that model now. But I'm still running my localized events as well here. So yeah, it's kind of up in there of
so no dates decided yet.
No, not at this
But I
point.
remember you gave me the opportunity, and I remember I was in India. I had to go back for a conference, but Ricky had invited me to speak. So we sent a video clip of the presentation, and the video clip was played while I was in India, and I was speaking at a conference in person. There was a video clip of mine being played thanks to you, to all these people, and I got a lot of comments because of it.
Yes.
And so that open mindset that you have, you already done something online with me in India there.
Yes.
So I'm sure a lot of people will be open to that coming their way as well.
Yeah, it was quite ingenious because we were trying to figure out times and dates, and it wasn't going to work. So at the Internet Marketing Mastery Conference, you had that great video, and everyone just got a little glimpse of you. So I'd love to have you speak at one of my live events as well.
I would love to. I would love to. So I don't know how from being a hotelier and a travel agent, I became a social media person, and then I became a speaker. And so last year I spoke at almost about 24 conferences, and I don't want to, like you said, there was a time I said I want to speak at 100 conferences, but after 24 I realized you actually lose you don't have a lot of time for yourself. So 24 was perfect.
Yeah.
I've got the next 6 calendared right now, so I'm very comfortable, looking forward to it. I remember while growing up I was not a very confident person going up on stage.
Yeah.
But the family used to push me back and forth, and now this is what I feed off of.
Right.
So coming back to your internet marketing part,
Yeah.
what kind of internet marketing do you do?
Yeah, so I've tried a few different things online. So
Right.
everything from blogging, that's something I'm well known for.
Right.
Blogging, social media
So
marketing.
you're known in Vancouver as the daddy blogger.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
And we can definitely go into more of that.
Sure.
But yeah, so blogging, social media. I have different products online, blogging courses. I also have a membership site, so that was to get residual monthly income.
Of course.
And I also have my own book published as well.
Right.
So that's on Kindle. There's a digital version and a print version. And I also do some Skype coaching.
Oh, okay.
So I've kind of put my feet in a few different internet marketing areas.
Right.
But really, I think my focus is on social media blogging.
So people actually, entrepreneurs, budding entrepreneurs, seasoned entrepreneurs, small businesses, all kinds of people can actually come to you and for advice on coaching, one-to-one or group coaching or
Yes.
whatever. Yeah. So what's the site that they should go to when anybody is watching this show?
Yes.
Because the idea with this show is to reach out to the Asian audience that watches this show more often.
Yes.
For them to understand what's happening in North America.
Yeah.
Like what's unique about your thing is that you did not go out there, and this is what I truly feel, that you did not go out there and say, let me do something what everybody else is doing. You had kids, you're raising your kids, and you said, you're a stay-at-home dad?
I'm a work from home dad, so my office is just over here,
Right.
And I work with the kids around,
Right.
and I absolutely love it.
So that's what I noticed with the first or second time I came to your house.
Yes.
That you are okay with, some dads are not patient. So you actually are a daddy blogger. You just didn't make it because it's cool, but you made it, and that's what you're known for in Vancouver.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, there are a lot of careers people can choose. You can choose a traditional 9-to-5 job, or you can choose like an entrepreneurial job where you work. You can be a stay-at-home dad where you're not working, your wife's working. For me, I think work has purpose, so I definitely work and I build up a career, but I don't want to be stuck in a cubicle. It was never my personality.
Right.
So I love that freedom of working from home and having the kids around. Obviously, there's also challenges.
Right. What kind of challenges?
Well, distraction.
Right.
Having kids around while you're trying to focus is a very difficult thing to do. And I'm sure you've had the same issue with having two daughters at home. And mine are really young.
Right.
So I got a 2-year-old son,
right.
and I have a 3.5-year-old daughter, and I have another one on the way. So they're going to be 3 kids and a 5. And that's why I have a little bit of the gray hairs. And it's definitely stressful. Right. And I don't mind being very real and vulnerable with that, because there's the stress factors, there's the, having patience with them when they're wanting your attention, but you're trying to really focus on what you're doing. So they're trying to take time, and I'm trying to invest time in my business. Right. So there's that tension.
Sure.
But I still choose that tension over a 9-to-5 job. Right. Because it's way more rewarding having that tension and having the kids around rather than being at the office.
So yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah. So basically what you're saying is that everything that you choose in life will come with its with some kind of stress, tension, all of that. Of course. And you obviously choose this tension because you're with your kids. And, yes. So it must be a marvelous experience for the kids. We'll ask them, interview them when they've grown up a little bit.
Sure.
How was it growing up with your daddy working with you at home? I'm sure it's a very enriching experience for them seeing you at work. Because I like to take my daughter wherever I can. She comes to office, she comes for my shoots. So she knows what her father's up to, what she's doing, and hopefully she wants to do something similar. She's learned the ropes, because I truly believe. So I did my MBA from the University of Strathclyde not because I thought it was a prestigious university, but more because my grandfather, who I talk about on almost every video, was a decorated army officer, spoke, read and wrote 14 languages. Everything had to be perfect according to him. I was grateful to have him in my life, and I did my MBA from Strathclyde, international business, all of that. I did it after he died, because it was his one wish that I had to do that. But what I'm doing right now is completely different. So I did not realize, so education is great, but education in what you love is what you want to do, not just education for the sake of education. And therefore the kind of careers that I'm sure your kids for sure will choose their life and their careers from the heart, because that's what they see their father doing. Yeah,
and I think that's the best form of parenting we can do, right? Modeling.
Right.
So I'm not going to tell them be this and this and this. I'm just going to live my life with passion and purpose. And hopefully they'll be able to see that and replicate it. But if not, they can do whatever they want, right? Like, I don't care whether it is your internet marketing or conferences. Like, they can be whatever they want. Of course. Because that's our true joy as parents, to see them really find themselves and discover themselves and be themselves and thrive in that, right?
There are a lot of people in India, see, because this India-Canada Connect is happening more and more.
Yes.
There was a time about 10-15 years back when when I know my wife and I fell in love with Canada and we started exploring more of Canada. It was still seen as a smaller country, not so much happening. And then Vancouver, especially, step city, it's a kind of a thing. I would call it, I used to call it a small village and all that. Now, the kind of startups coming out of here, Canada is making noise, New Prime Minister, new all of that and all of that. Yeah. And I know a lot of people from the internet marketing and startup community are looking at Vancouver and back and forth, and what kind of synergies can happen, because today for sure entrepreneurs are saying that, well, we can have a co-founder sitting in Vancouver and the other guy sitting in India or whatever. So if there are people in India or Asia or Dubai or wherever this show goes looking to connect with you, to advertise with you or to sponsor their startup products in your conference, what is the best website they should go to?
Yeah, I mean, to connect with me, like
I said, be putting up some links
just daddyblogger.com. I do have a lot of, like 10 or 15, not a lot of websites, but I have about 10 or 15 different websites on the internet. But daddyblogger.com is the one I'm known for, and that pretty much links to everything else I do as well.
To the conference.
Because there's a conference website, there's a membership website, there's a product website, the book website, and
the kind of Skype coaching you do. So if there are people, because our idea is through this show to connect people from different parts of the world to this part of the world and keep it more real time. Like I always say that it used to take about 6 months for the information from North America to reach India. It takes about 2 months now. Through this show, we want to make it real time. So what kind of coaching can people expect from you or take from you or sign up for?
Sure. I mean, even though I promote myself in terms of like the blog and social media, I'm here just to help, and if I can help you in any way, whether that's through coaching or consulting, I'm happy to do that. But I definitely do a lot of consulting on social media blogging, locally, usually for localized companies, but obviously the principles are very similar. I can do it anywhere in the world. And my specialty is really blogging. So I teach people about things like how to make a blog, how to market a blog, how to monetize a blog, how to build up the brand online, and how to find out your target market.
Right.
Because I can share with you a little bit of how I did that with mine.
Please do.
So with like daddyblogger.com, it's a well-known site. It has quite a lot of hits per month, and it's a well-known brand. But at the same time, it's very highly localized right now.
Right.
So I'm really focused on not every dad in the world, or not every dad in Canada, or not every dad in this province, BC.
Right.
But I'm really focused on Vancouver entrepreneurial new dads.
Right.
And especially dads under 5, who have kids under 5.
Right.
Because that's me.
Sure.
And usually, like one tip I'd give people is usually the people you're trying to reach are very much like yourself.
Of course.
So I'm trying to reach other dads who want to hang out with their kids, who want to have a strong marriage, who want to be family oriented. And I think that's the message that's really resonated with a lot of people. Because I think at the heart of, I know you're very much a strong father, strong husband, and strong family oriented.
Right.
And I think that's why we connected, right?
Of course.
And that's why I think the other dads, I know you interviewed like Tyler Basu,
right.
He's a young dad, entrepreneurial, and he has a brand new child. And
right.
Those are exactly like, he's kind of like my avatar.
Sure. Okay.
Avatar is like kind of your perfect person you want to reach.
Sure.
Would be someone like Tyler Basu or
right.
Tai Wong or some of these other people you're interviewing on your show.
Right. So, following your passion, making it a success, and helping others and all of that. Tell me, when people see social media, internet marketing, fortunately or unfortunately, the people who want to get onto it want to see everything instantly.
Right.
So, and I know there's no instant soup when it comes to this, but through this show, we're trying to give next 100 days of success in terms of what kind of tips we can give so that they can see something tangible in 100 days.
Sure.
What would be the top 3 things you would say?
Yeah.
Assuming that the people who are already watching are to a level, they already have their blogs.
Yes.
They already know what they want.
Yeah.
They want to take it to the next level.
Right.
And I remember one Internet Masterminds seminar that I attended at Matt's place, where you'd given some tips, and I'm sure you've done many of these. So what would be the top 3 things so that people can take away something? And we're going to link these up as 1, 2, 3 in the show.
Yes.
So they can take away these 3, implement it,
yes,
and find some success, and come back and thank you, or come back to you for the 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Sounds good. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely a lot more than 3, but I can boil it down to 3 if you like.
Right.
But it's like I said, building that brand, figuring out your target market, your ideal reader, and then it's all about marketing, right? And we can talk about monetizing after as well. But I think it's
sorry, I just go back a little.
Sure.
But the first, would you say the first point is to understand your audience and which ones you want to go after?
Yeah.
And would you choose that from your heart, or would you actually go and search and see how many people in this province are looking at these keywords? Or
yeah, we can definitely dive deeper into that. So when you're figuring out any company, any business, I'm just talking primarily about blogging.
Right.
But these principles apply to any business, right? So like Nike or McDonald's or
Danny Blogger, Ricky Teddy.
Yeah, like we're smaller companies, internet moguls, right?
Yeah, but
you probably know who your target market is.
For you're the best brand in the world, right? For me, internet moguls is the best brand.
Yeah.
Nike is the best brand.
Right. But I think all these brands that are successful, they have the exact same principles that makes them successful.
Right.
Or similar principles that makes them successful. They have a strong brand, right? Internet moguls, Daddy Blogger, Nike, McDonald's, Apple, right? Strong branding.
Sure.
They know who they're trying to reach. They know their client, right? So like Apple is trying to reach a much more defined audience than like a PC market or a Microsoft market, right? They're trying to reach a much general audience, but Apple is looking for the geeks, the nerds, the Apple enthusiasts, right? And they found them.
Sure.
And these people are willing to stay overnight because they love their product so much.
Right.
And that's, like they've done it really, they're one of the most successful brands in the world for a reason.
Of course.
Because they really know what they're doing, right?
Right.
And they figure out who their market is.
So you're saying, so is there a technical tip that you would like to add to this?
Technical tip is things like demographics, psychographics, right? So things like...
Can you explain psychographics?
Yeah, sure. So demographics are things like, the age, the gender, even the political affiliation, the religious mindset, the sexual orientation, so where they live, how much they make, how many kids they have, how old are their kids, is it like teenagers or is it like kids under 5, or are they single, are they married, are they divorced, right? So all these things make up, like, I guess, the demographics.
Right.
The psychographics are a little bit more, not as defined. It's like more like personality type or buying style or like lifestyle or like, like a little bit more internal stuff.
Right.
So the other stuff is more external, and I would say the psychographic stuff is more like, how do people make a buying decision?
Sure.
Is it because they're loyal to the brand, or do they do impulse buying,
right?
Or
are they doing it because their buddy is doing it?
Is it their wife influencing it, right?
Sure, right?
So do they want to keep up with the Jones?
Right.
So those are more the psychographic analysis people have to do, and that's a lot harder, right? Because the demographics is simple.
Right.
38 years old, married, have
right.
2 kids, right? Live in Burnaby.
But that hard work needs to be done and how close can you get to defining your audience? 90%? Or?
Think of one person.
Right.
My one person is like Tyler Basu, right?
Right.
Watch that show as well, because he is in his 20s. He's a married dad. He has new kids, right? So I just look at one person. Your target market is one person.
Okay.
Right? Because if you can reach that one, there are going to be other people like Tyler.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So I'm trying to reach Tyler Basu, but there's multiple Tyler Basus everywhere in the world. Because there's new dads who are being formed every day of the week.
You know what, Ricky? By saying that, look at that one person and then multiply your demographic, you have made a very strong point on this show today, because the thing is, most of the people that, it could be large companies, mid-sized companies, single individuals that you work with or I work with, or we at Internet Mortgage mostly work with hotels and travel companies, but the biggest thing that is missing in this world, I won't make it a very general statement, with clients is they're looking for clarity. They want to know themselves who we are.
Yes.
So demographics, psychographics, and then when you mention the point that look at that one person who's your ideal demographic and then find more like that, that I think is one of the key takeaways from this show, to look at that, because once you find that clarity, and assuming you have a great product and you willing to put in the hard work behind it, I learned something today. I learned something today.
I'm glad
I'm sure a lot of people did as well.
Yeah, it's always about the one person,
Right.
At the end of the day, if you can help that one, you can help the many.
Right.
Right?
And so that's point number one. So what would be the second thing?
So once you figure out your branding, your target market, then it's all about the marketing, right?
Right.
So even with Apple, right? Like I love using Apple, then I love going back to us, right?
Right.
So like, okay, so now Apple's defined his target market, so have we. And now how does Apple market themselves, right? So there's multiple ways that Apple or yourself watching or you and me can market ourselves. Things like email marketing, social media marketing, video marketing, which you're doing right now.
Right.
There's podcasting. Right. There's doing interviews. Right now, we're doing this interview, we're marketing as well.
Of course.
Because I'm going to share with my network, so are you.
Absolutely.
And then there's like if you're a blogger, there's things like guest blog posting, there's things like running a contest. There's obviously like public speaking, right? So if you're speaking on a stage, which you do and I do, that's definitely a form of marketing as well. There's networking, and there's like traditional marketing, things like direct mail. For me, even my car, I have like check out daddyblogger.com in my car. Right. So I go with the full blitz marketing.
You have a tattoo? Not yet.
Not yet. I'm not really a tattoo kind of person, so no tattoo yet. But who knows? I'm open to it.
I know. daddyblogger.com or
so another key point I would say.
We have 15 websites, so there'll be a lot of tattoos there.
There are a lot of different tattoos, but really, that's the one website that I'm most known for. The other ones, they have different degrees of like traffic, and some of them they hardly get any traffic. But I think the reason I'm successful with my other businesses is because like the persona of Daddy Blogger, I'm just like wanting to be a good dad, and that's really my heart at the end of the day.
Sure.
And I think people can see that, and that's why they're willing to connect with my conferences and other online.
Tell me if I'm just thinking crazy. If you were to get a tattoo done, and I've not got a tattoo yet, and I know I want to get one done, but that has to be something which is me. If it's an alien concept, you're going to get bored.
Right.
So if one of your companies had to be your tattoo on your wrist, where everybody could see and you could see every day, and with a huge possibility of getting bored, and which website would it be?
Kind of ironically, it can't be the Daddy Blogger logo, because I'm actually getting more kids, right? My Daddy Blogger logo, and it's kind of a funny story, I'll share that too. My original Daddy Blogger logo had me and my daughter on a bicycle. Then we had 2 kids. So now we upgraded from a bicycle, so it's me, my daughter, and my 2 kids in a car. So we upgraded from a bicycle to a car, and now we have a 3rd kid coming, right?
Minivan.
So my logo, minivan. And we're going to be doing a lot of travel as well, so maybe on an airplane. So I'm actually glad I never got that bicycle or the car or the minivan logo, because who knows, right?
Who knows, right?
So I find tattoos a little bit more permanent, especially with business, because you don't know if Internet Moguls is going to exist 5, 10, 20 years down the line. I don't know if my site's going to exist 5, 10, 20 years down the line, but I know I will. So I'd rather not have a tattoo this to me.
I know.
But you know, maybe my wife's name, because I think we're gonna put that to us part, or my kids' names maybe. A heart, because I think like that's the foundation.
But you know, I'm just thinking,
my life,
just as marketers, and we're talking. Once you get that minivan logo and everything, you can actually, and because with your you're doing a lot of travel videos, and we're going to just talk about that.
Sure.
And you're the daddy, you're the perfect. You know, I'm just thinking, you're just becoming the perfect brand for a family minivan. So take this concept and let's go to Honda Odyssey and have them sponsor your trips throughout.
Yeah, and I actually
isn't that how marketers should think?
Yeah, no, and I do, and I have.
You do? Oh, wow.
So I do work with a lot of car companies. So I do a lot of car reviews, and perfect Honda Odyssey. I worked with Lexus, Toyota, a lot of the big brands. And what I do is I usually do like a 1-week car review. So they'll give me a car totally totally for free, only for a week, not indefinitely. Okay. I'm still waiting for keep it for a year.
Yeah, I'm sure you're getting there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm good with trying out different cars, because I really like variety. So I get bored. I have a Civic right now, right? So I get bored of driving my Civic. So, and I have connections with most of the major manufacturers, and a lot of them have a media fleet. So basically, you approach the media fleet or the PR company. So usually, it wouldn't be for example, let's use Lexus, right? I work with Lexus quite a bit, so I don't approach Lexus directly. I'll approach a PR company for Lexus and make an agreement there, and I'll shoot out an email. And it's a good tip for any bloggers who wanna maybe do some car blogging. But usually, I shoot out an email saying, "Hi there, I'm Ricky Shetty. I'm from Vancouver, Canada. My blog's daddyblogger.com, and I love writing about products and services from a father's perspective, and I love doing car reviews." And
here's a link to my blog.
And I usually have videos or blog posts of previous cars I've reviewed, and then usually things like social media following. And usually when I say I've worked with Lexus and Toyota and Honda before, I'm able to leverage those sponsors to get new ones.
Of course.
And usually I just say, would you like to work together? I leave the conversation open, leave the ball in their court, and the worst they could say is no.
Of course.
Yes.
Yes.
And car companies are multi-billion-dollar companies, so they can definitely afford to lend out a car, and they're spending so much money on marketing. And for me, sometimes they'll actually pay as well, but most of the time it's just it's a barter, more or less. They give me a car in return for a review, right? So there's no hard cost on their part. Maybe some wear and tear in the car, and usually they give me at full tank, and I give it back at full tank. So it's actually more strategic for them than it is for me. I'm happy getting that free car for a week. But they're even happier because they're reaching my target market, which we talked about, which is their target market. Because they're trying to reach families, and I already have that strong relationship with families,
right. No, that makes sense. So that is another very cool tip that once you have that correct audience, and like I said, I learned how to make the correct audience for your blog. Once you have that, then you market strategically, reach out to the people who want to reach out to these people, and they cannot directly. And even if they did directly, they would not have the heartfelt relationship with them. Now, since one blogger already has it, the car company reaches out. I think the car company should come and because we know your brand, not only because I'm a fan of yours personally, but I know your brand. I think car companies should be lining up and giving you a car, saying, "Here's 2016. This is your car for the next 4 years." And review it every month and let us know how it goes after 3 months, 6 months, or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, for a car company, it doesn't cost them anything. So I think it was more error on my part too for not asking for the 1 year. Usually I ask for the 1 week, and usually if we do a road trip, then I'll ask for the 2 week one. But why not ask for the 1 month or the 6 or the 9 or the 12 months?
Exactly. I'll tell you what. Another thing, what happened was. Daniel Craig, not James Bond, but Daniel Edward Craig, who's known as the guy for online reputation management for hoteliers, and he's based out of Vancouver. Celebrity in his own right. My dad introduced me to him, saying that you have to follow this guy's blog. It's been a few years now, we've become friends. And before I started my speaking career, I used to speak at conferences every month. I used to love it. They used to send me flight tickets. They used to put me up at the hotel and everything. And there's this one time we were having, and he says, I said, "How come you get paid for these conferences?" And I don't. He says, he just very casually said, "Well, Abhi, do you ask?" I said, "No."
Yeah, that's
And the next conference was with this company out of UAE. I think it was Doha or Qatar or somewhere. A huge travel technology company. They sent me a mail, and at that time I was full of it. I was saying, "Oh, it's too much. It's worth my time." Send them an email. They send an email. I just said back, my charges are $5,000 for that 1 day, and I do not travel economy. I swear to God, I said that. And I asked my secretary, are you sure we should send this out? Because this is about 2.5, 3 years back. She came to me and she said, we're just building the brand. So are you sure we want to ask for money? I said, $5,000 and business class. If it's not happening, I am not traveling. It took 10 minutes for them to revert back and say, we are so sorry. We should have mentioned it is business class. And regarding the $5,000, it's a Saturday, allow us to get back on Monday. Monday morning, 12 o'clock, I've got that mail saying, is $5,000 for 1 day or 2 days? I said, I'm coming for 2 days. I don't mind speaking the second day as well. We got that $5,000.
Wow.
And since then, 50 to 70% of the conferences till date are paid. So it's all about asking, right?
Yeah, and I think it's all about confidence building, right?
Right.
So if we have the confidence, we're going to ask more.
Exactly.
But I think part of it is we just don't have the confidence to ask.
Right.
And sometimes they don't even know that you want it until you ask, right? So if you don't know, if they don't know, if you don't vocalize it, they don't hear it,
sometimes
it won't
I feel,
happen.
we work with so many brands. Right now we work with about 550 odd brands in different parts. How difficult it is for a brand to make a connect with the audience. Here's somebody who's already got that connect. How easy it is for them to have this influencer going in and making that. So okay, we've covered the second point, and I'm sure the audience is going to be thrilled because these two takeaways were learnings from digital marketers. That's what the show is, right? To get more than what we can give to the show individually. There was a time I used to do it alone, but I realized that there's so many experts who need to share that information. What's the third point you would give? So these 2 points, they're going to anybody implementing them in the first 100 days, I can guarantee that they will get success. What would be the third point?
And I just want to finish in a second too about the marketing. So basically, when you're marketing, you have to figure, and especially social media, that's the hot marketing. Those are the platforms to use right now. So you got to figure out which platform your readers or your audience or your clients, your followers are on. And that would be another key point I was going to make. Because there's the Facebook, there's the Twitter, there's LinkedIn, there's Instagram, there's Pinterest, there's Google+, there's even things like Periscope and Meerkat and Blab. So there's so many social media platforms. The question you have to ask is, where is my client? My client isn't on Pinterest. Because I'm basically trying to connect with dads. You're a dad. Are you hanging out on Pinterest much?
No.
See, there you go. If you're a dad watching, you're probably not hanging out on Pinterest much. If you're trying to reach teenagers, where are they hanging out? You almost have teenagers, right? Where are your daughters hanging out? Is it
Facebook or at best,
Snapchat, right? There's things like Snapchat and now Periscope and Blab, and the younger generation are connecting to those kind of the live stream apps or the kind of instantaneous. You tweet it out or you send it out and it's gone. It's ghosted, as they call it, right?
And they love that. Who would have thought that this would be a multi-billion-dollar company doing this?
And Vine's another big one that the teenagers are on, right? So you got to figure out, again, if you know your avatar, and your avatar is like a teenage girl who's in high school, who's 15 years old, who lives in Vancouver, BC, Canada, where is that 15-year-old teenage girl hanging out? Probably Snapchat, probably Vine, right? So then maybe you could allocate your marketing resources to target more Vine and Snapchat and these other platforms. So one of the key things I would say is like figuring out who the target audience is, where they're hanging out is the other big thing, right? And then reach them there. So I don't want to spend my energy, effort, or time on Pinterest.
Got it.
But I do want to spend it on like Facebook because a lot of dads are on Facebook, right? I use a lot of YouTube marketing, so a lot of my dads are on YouTube, and I know you do as well, right? And that's why I'm so glad we can do this interview, because we can reach my dad demographic and your demographic through video marketing.
Video marketing, that's the key. So what would be the third point?
So again, going back to blogging, so a lot of people ask me, okay, how do I monetize my blog?
And
that's a big question, right? How to make
money?
Can I make a full-time income blogging, right? There's all these questions around that. But I think when people ask that question, it's the wrong question, because first you got to make your blog, market your blog, monetize your blog. If you don't have the make part right, the foundation, what's going to happen? The whole thing's going to crumble. No one's going to read it. No one's going to follow it. Sponsors aren't going to like pay for your content, right? So it goes back to my first point, which is the brand, targeting your ideal customer, your reader, your follower, right? Once you got that down pat and you start marketing them, and that's where you build up your following, your readership, that's when the money's going to come in. And that's the whole monetizing angle, right? So these are the three ways that I feel you can monetize on a blog.
Right.
First is having your own products and services to sell.
Okay.
So you're selling something that you've created.
Okay.
It could be things like online products, it could be ebooks, it could be print books, it could be even a physical product, or it could be a service.
Okay.
Things like coaching, or even if you're like a masseuse or something, you do massages, right?
Sure.
So figuring out what is your product or service.
Right.
I know with a lot of maybe beginner bloggers or maybe intermediate bloggers, they probably don't have their own products or services yet.
Yeah.
So what do? You sell someone else's products and services, right?
You already got the traffic.
You got the traffic, you got the readership, and you don't have the products.
Right.
So you just basically leverage someone else's products to sell to your audience.
Sure.
And that's called affiliate marketing.
Of course.
And affiliate marketing is so hot nowadays. There's obviously Amazon, which is the biggest affiliate marketing company in the world. There's Commission Junction. So if you don't, especially with things like digital products, info products, then you can go on like Commission Junction to find them. And pretty much in every niche, every industry, you'll find the products on there. Right. And a lot of the big internet marketers, they'll use a Commission Junction and basically link from your website to there. And then you'll get a commission.
Right.
It could be anywhere from like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50%, even higher. Like some people will give you even up to 100% commission.
On the first sale or whatever.
Exactly, on the first sale, because they only care about the back end.
Sure.
Because you sell the product, give away the whole commission, but your goal is really to make more profit on the back end.
Right.
So that's the second way. And the third big way the bloggers make money is advertising or sponsorships. And most of my income comes from sponsors. So basically what I've done is I built up my audience. And at first, I was reaching a lot of sponsors, right? I'd be reaching like companies and I say, can I review your stroller, your car seat, the latest gadget, the latest toy, the latest clothes, right? I'd be, probably for the first 3 to 6 months of my blog, even to the first year, that's what I was doing. There was a lot of like sweat equity, sweat labor, right? On my keyboard, doing the copy and paste, finding out who's the marketing manager, the PR manager, right? Sending out those emails, and I did it really well.
So you went through that hustle the first time?
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough because I would do all that sweat equity, and you know, startups. If there's anyone having a startup company, you'll put in the time, effort, and energy, but you won't see the return.
Right.
So you'll spend all this time, even all this money, and there's no ROI, and that's when a lot of people give up.
That's when they give up.
Because who wants to spend a lot of time, energy, and effort and money, and you don't see anything coming back to you, right?
Right.
So at that point when you're about to give up, don't.
Right.
Because there's going to be a breakthrough on the side, and if you can push through that that barriers of like, you know, the time and the money and nothing, you're not seeing the return, because as an entrepreneur you're going to go through a difficult time. You've done it, right? I'm sure in the early days of internet moguls you've probably gone through that.
Of course.
And now you're here where you're at because you didn't give up.
Right.
And so many people give up too quickly. Right before they're about to see the goal.
Even now, even now that we've been working for every year brings a new challenge, and that reinforces you to think of the basics. There are times you want to give up again, because every time the scale becomes bigger, the risk is bigger, the stakeholders are many. So you relive that whole the experience sometimes, and it only gets harder in a different way. Because when you started, you were on your own. Now there are other boards of directors and this. So it always gets harder. But like my dad always says, if it's getting harder, why don't you build stronger muscles to lift that weight? So to work out more, maybe get up on time, read more books, meet more people. Get that. Like I mentioned in my shows, that it's very important to clean your mind 3 times a day. And Isabel, I interviewed a few days back, she said she calls it brain sweep. So your brain is cluttered with so much. You need to quieten down 5-10 minutes a day and then restart. And we make this happen twice a day at Internet Moguls. There were 150 of us, and I'm sure a lot of kids that work for us, and I call them kids because they're 15 years younger to me, at least most of them. So they maybe don't like what we make them do, but a lot of them do, and they love the fact that because you have to restart a few times a day, because the brain gets cluttered and you just can't go, and that's when you come back and say, you know what, I'm not giving up. Otherwise it's so easy to to fill your brain with stuff and say, I'm working hard, I've got so much stress and I'm giving up.
Right, yeah. And you know, like in this day and age, 2016, we're very much go, right?
Right.
And we're on the go all the time. We're even like going through the fast food restaurants because we don't have time to eat even.
Right.
We're walking and eating.
Right.
We're trying to do multiple things at once, right? But I think we need that rest.
Right.
I call it the Sabbath.
Right.
And I think we need that weekly Sabbath. So for me, it's a Sunday usually. I'm going to church in the morning. I'm hanging with family. Trying not to do any work or maybe not doing any work, but as little work as possible.
But you think,
the mental break, right? And we also need that daily, like that time. Some people like meditate or just take time off, yoga, etc. For me, I do something called floating. I don't know if you've heard of that.
I've seen a few floating centers happening in Vancouver.
Yeah.
It's not caught up so much in other parts of Asia yet. What's it about?
So floating is this hot new trend because, like I said, we're the go people and we're looking for rest.
Right.
And sometimes it's in a bathtub, right? We're just resting, relaxing in a bathtub.
Right.
And now there's this huge phenomena internationally, and especially in the Western countries, because we have all this money we can spend.
Right.
So we're looking to where we can spend it to relax, right? It's kind of funny. It's kind of ironic. So we spend money, and North Americans spend money to hang out in a bathtub and float on Epsom salt. Basically, all it is water, Epsom salt, and you're basically floating.
Right.
So it's not like a bathtub where you're just in normal water, but the salt concentration actually makes you float.
Right.
And it's for me, I really love it. I've been doing quite a bit. I've done it already a couple times this year. Like we're in January right now, and I've done it twice since the last 2 weeks. Yeah.
You know, it's about 15, 20 years back, I always wanted a huge television right in front of my tub, and I wanted to play I'm a huge video game addict, right? So I wanted to. And yesterday I met somebody who had a humongous 42-inch television, nicely framed right outside his tub, and the PlayStation remote. It was an ideal.
It must be Jamil from Third Eye Productions.
No, it wasn't Jamil.
He has one too.
Oh yeah? I know Jamil's got an awesome studio.
Yes.
But this was somebody else. I don't know if you want me to name him on the show, but it was the coolest pad that I'd seen. So we shared these 3 tips, and I'm sure that everybody who's watching this show has got something that they've taken back with this, because like I said, I learned, especially when you told me about that thing about Tyler Basu, take that 1% and multiply it, because that is one thing which has stuck with me. So I thank you very much. I learned a lot today. And my last question before we wrap up for now, we're going to be coming back, Ricky.
Sure.
You have to be ready for us.
Absolutely.
When are you coming to India?
Good question. I'm actually going traveling this year.
Is that right?
So, last year I took a lot of self-reflection and trying to figure out what's really important to me.
Right.
Is it the house? Is it the mortgage? Is it the car? Is it the materialism? Is it my business? And really, I realized those things weren't important to me. And some people are seeking that. They're like, I want to hit 6 figures this year.
Right.
I want to hit, if they're already at 6, I want to hit 7 figures this year, right? And that's all they're focused on. I want to hit the 6 figures. I want to hit the 6 figures. I want to hit the 7, right? Some people are like, okay, I'm renting now. I want to own a place. Some people are like, okay, I own a condo. Now I want to own a townhome or a home, right? Other people, they're just like trying to accumulate stuff. Like I have a Civic. Now I want to upgrade to a Mercedes or a BMW, right? And I was one of those people. I was trying to hit the 6 figures. I was trying to move from my condo to my townhouse to a home. I was trying to upgrade from my Civic to a BMW. And I was just like, I had a big eye opening, because I was just like, is that really going to make me happier? Because there's this whole saying that, the richer you are, they say unhappier, but I don't know. I know happy rich people, I know poor people are happy too, right? But if you keep seeking and yearning for materialistic things, I don't think that's going to make you happy.
Right.
And there are a lot of poor people seeking for materialism too, and there are a lot of rich people seeking.
Sure.
And there are other people that are just content regardless of financial status. So for me, I really value experience. And I'm doing a lot of experience locally, but I realize there's this lack in terms of travel and taking my kids to explore the world. And for me, before I got married, I'd actually done a lot of traveling. I've been to over 50 countries. I worked
50 countries already?
50, yeah.
This was 5 years back.
That was in my 20s, so now I'm 38 right now. But in my 20s, I actually backpacked around Europe. I worked in Japan teaching English, so that's how you get the Tokyo Ricky handle. And then I traveled through Asia, and then I studied in Australia, and I went to Australia, New Zealand, and I traveled to North America. So I'd done all this traveling, and that really enriched my life and opened up my mind about cultures and about helping people and making a difference in this world, transforming it, right? That was me in my 20s. And then I think I lost some of that when I...
you heard that song, I Have a Girlfriend in Every Town?
Okay. Yeah, I didn't have that.
Okay.
You know, I just have my wife. I'm happy with that. And that's all I want, happy with the wife and the kids. So right now, in Vancouver, I've made this decision that I want to make a difference, not on a localized level, on a global level, and I want my kids to experience life to the fullest, the modeling part, right? So we're actually heading out in this big epic journey for 1 year. Heading from Vancouver, from Mexico to Panama, across to South America, and we want to experience life to the fullest. So we're making some decisions about, you know, like either we're going to sell a place, rent it out, Airbnb it out. You know, my wife's actually going on mat leave, so we're still going to get a salary coming in there. Right. I have my online businesses, which bring some money in as well. So yeah, we're going to explore the world, and we're going to write all about it on our blog called familytravelbloggers.com.
So we're going to link that, familytravelbloggers.com, and it's going to be more video, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Like I do a lot of video news with dads, and I love to do one with you about, you know, your travel journeys with your kids. And I interview a lot of like parents, because I think we want to teach our kids, right?
Right.
And one of the ways we can teach our kids is not through a traditional education, but through experiential education.
Sure.
So, and that's the next interview. So anyway, yeah, check out daddyblogger.com and also familytravelbloggers.com.
Perfect. It was lovely talking to you. We learned a lot, and I'm sure that once this show reaches out, people are going to come back. Last thing we want to say to this show is, a lot of startups watch this show, and they are going to be sending in their startup business plans and ideas and saying what they want to do. It could be somebody, a housewife starting a blog, or it could be somebody wanting to start a billion-dollar company. So we invite startups to come on this show, send us comments, send short videos on what they want to do, and we're going to discuss it. The Internet Moguls team is going to we get about 18-20 queries. We're going to make, you know, shortlist them into 5 and then discuss some with you, and then get back to them through this show with free advice to say these should be your first 3 steps, because your foundation is everything. So we're going to help startups through this show, and once we get in those queries, we'll get in touch with you again. Absolutely, yeah. Like I keep saying throughout this whole interview, my whole goal is to help and give back. Perfect. And I'd love to connect with your audience. And even if you have any questions to do with blogging or social media, happy to help out any way I can. Excellent, excellent. Thank you very much for your time. Thanks, Avi. Great interview. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much for watching the Ask Avi Arya show, live from the home of the daddy blogger, Ricky Shetty.